Good evening and many thanks for joining us and welcome to CoreTV News at 7 with me, Emmanuel Ezekiel. President Goodluck Jonathan has congratulated the presidential candidate of the All Progressives Congress, Muhammadu Buhari, on his victory in Saturday's election. President Jonathan made a telephone call to Buhari about 5:15 p.m., during which he assured him of maximum cooperation and smooth transition. Now, following the announcement of the presidential election results, Bukola Saraki and Iola Oyedepo has reacted to the victory of Muhammadu Buhari, saying the result is a true reflection of the people's wish. They went on to say that era of federal might is gone as new democratic history is welcomed in the country.
For Nigerians, the victory is to be able to vote out a sitting government, so that even those that are coming in like us will sit up, because we know that the people have the power to vote us in and vote us out. So I think we will do our best and double our efforts to show that we can even perform better.
People in government, politicians, will no more take electorates for granted in Nigeria. So if you don't perform, electorate will wait for you at the end of the 4 years. They will just kick you out with their votes. And that development is very good for democracy in Nigeria.
As the Independent National Electoral Commission begins final collation of results, the presidential campaign office of the All Progressives Congress is wearing a new look. The two-story complex has been decorated in anticipation of the announcement of the party's candidates, Muhammadu Buhari, as the winner of the presidential election. The officials are confident of a resounding victory and already in a celebratory mood. Spokesman for the APC presidential team, Garba Shehu, also told CoreTV News that the PDP claim of victory in 23 states without INEC's authority is one that warrants an arrest.
Nigerians are giving General Buhari a landslide. Decorations are on. It's reflecting the mood of the nation, not just the mood within the campaign office.
Representatives of the People's Democratic Party attempted but failed to disrupt the collation of results of Saturday's presidential election. Led by former Niger Delta Minister Godsey Rubebe, they accused the chairman of the Independent National Electoral Commission, Atahiru Jega, of bias and manipulating the process in favor of the All Progressives Congress APC. The leading agent specifically claimed that the INEC chairman turned down a petition for the PDP on alleged electoral fraud, but was keen on probing APC's claim in Rivers State. For several minutes, Rubebe refused to allow the commission to continue with the process until Jega explained that his office did not receive any formal petition from the ruling party. Now,
and send a committee to Kano. Jega has nothing to reply here. He did not come to this place to reply to us about River State before he took her. Let him go to his office. Please. We will not live here.
May I respond?
You cannot respond here. You cannot respond here. You cannot respond here. You cannot respond here. You didn't come here to respond on the issue of River State. You cannot respond here.
Meanwhile, the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, has set up a three-man team to look at the allegations of electoral fraud in Rivers State. The panel is headed by Thelma Iremirem, who is the Supervisory National Commissioner for Rivers State. Other members of the committee are retired Colonel Mohammed Hamanga and Professor Lai Odurode. Members of the panel are already in Port Harcourt and are expected to turn in a report to the INEC chairman Atahiru Jega before the end of the collation of results in Abuja. The commission says that decision will be taken after consideration of the report of the panel. Now, following the collation of the announcement of the March 28 presidential election results on live television coverage, residents of Kaduna have imposed a curfew on themselves as they anticipate the winner of the presidential polls. Roads and streets are deserted and businesses closed as residents stay indoors as they await the result. Kaduna State has been noted for riots, intertribal violence and political uprising resulting in the deaths of many. The Transition Monitoring Group says the logistic problem noticed in Saturday's presidential and National Assembly elections did not affect the credibility of the process. It therefore wants the Independent National Electoral Commission to remain steadfast in its efforts to ensure integrity of the elections. The group, however, urged the electoral management body to develop an appropriate and dependable solution for the faulty card readers.
The card reader should be retained but improved upon. It is one system that we find very okay because the area where it worked, it worked to the satisfaction of everybody, both the political party, the electorates, and including polling officials. So for us, we need to advance on the card reader.
The Buhari Support Organization has called for the arrest of Femi Fani-Kayode, the Director Media People's Democratic Party Presidential Campaign Organization, for announcing unofficial results. The Director of Media and Information of the BSO, Chidia Madueke, made a call on Monday in Abuja at a news conference. According to Madueke, this is a time for security agencies to show their neutrality by arresting Fani-Kayode because the only authority to announce election results is the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC. The organization claimed that Fani-Kayode had breached relevant sections of the Electoral Act by announcing that the PDP is leading in the presidential election in 23 states of the Federation. He called on the international community and observers to note the steps being taken by the ruling party to cause severe breach of peace and call them to order. He urged APC supporters to maintain the peace as they await the official announcement of authentic INEC results for the Saturday elections. He urged INEC to adhere strictly to guidelines for elections, which protected candidates through active participation of party agents. Now, Senator-elect of Lagos East Senatorial District, Benga Ashafa, has thanked the people of this district for reflecting and re-electing his promise to give them a quality representation at the upper legislative chamber. Ashafa said the victory belongs to the people while congratulating fellow contestants from the PDP, AD, LP, PPA, COA, and MPPP. The senator-elect sees the opportunity to wish them well in their future endeavors.
Than what you've given me in Lagos Senatorial District to Mr. Akinwumi Ambode, the gubernatorial candidate of our great party APC, the consolidator who is going to do much more better than the current governor that we have enjoyed so well, that has done so well.
Polling 60% of the votes and overwhelmed by the outcome of the results, he promised to work across party lines and contribute to the development of the country through people-friendly bills. He, however, urged the people of Lagos to extend their support to the governorship candidate of the All Progressives Congress in the state, Akinwumi Ambode, in the next elections coming less than 2 weeks.
And should not be taken for granted any longer. They want us to move past political bickering. They want us to get out of our political gridlock. And they want us to make sure to get the job done and actually lead. Today, I am overwhelmed by your gesture and accept your mandate.
Now we'll go for a quick break. Do not go away. The news returns shortly. Stay with us.
The army was not supposed to be visible or to be around any polling unit unless there is a breakdown of law and order and they have been invited by the Inspector General of Police.
That elections are sheltered in Africa is no news. But in Nigeria, it comes with consequences.
Against the will of one man.
Consequences that have toggled the nation's politics and may shape how Nigeria elects.
This is the year of PDP.
the momentum gathers.
When we promise, we deliver.
The fireworks is unending.
We did it and continue to do it.
55 years this year, and in her fourth republic, this is Nigeria's 5th general elections. All the action, all the news, the updates, and the news behind the news we will bring to you live from the field and in the studio on CoreTV News as Nigeria elects.
Welcome back. You can reach us on our following social media platforms: Facebook, facebook.com/CoreTV News, our Twitter handle at CoreTV News NG. Also, you can follow us on our YouTube channel, youtube.com/CoreTV, leave a space, and then news. The outcome of the just concluded presidential election in Oyo State have been trailed with mixed reactions from politicians and the electorate who turned out in large numbers at the poll to make a future-defining decision for the country, while stalwarts of the People's Democratic Party and Accord Party condemned the election after accusing the ruling party of rigging the election in their favor. Also, residents of Oyo, including election observers, disagree, saying the election was transparently conducted, adding that the democracy of the country would be upheld if such conduct were replicated at the forthcoming governorship election. Omotayalo has more in this report.
Oyo decides who takes the mantle of leadership. It was exemplary as residents conducted themselves peacefully and patiently to cast their votes despite issues with the electronic card reader at some polling units. The results, which we announced, had the presidential candidate of the All Progressives Congress winner, pulling majority of the votes in Oyo by the state coalition officer, Abayomi Salami.
APC, 528,620 votes. PDP, 303,376 votes.
Though with an expression of displeasure at the outcome, the PDP party agent Wasiu Maya declined to make comment.
I don't have anything to say, I'm sorry.
For all the party agents and an election observer from Cross River, it was a satisfactory result and a transparent process.
I witnessed the coalitions and there was transparency, and so we were not debarred from asking questions that we're supposed to ask as agents. So it's a welcome result.
It's fair, it's accepted by me and by my party.
A change can only come when you are willing to also put up that change, and that is what the people of Oyo have decided, which I'm grateful for what I've seen.
Down to the electorate, they say the results of the election is acceptable and are pleased with the absence of violence at the poll. They, however, state their expectations on who emerges Nigeria's next president.
If corruption is out, if corruption is dead, that means everything will be all right for us in this country, especially in this Oyo State as well.
Electricity, water, good roads, everything, you know, this country can feel it all around. There are so many things we are lacking of, so we just need changes in all aspects.
For these residents, the governorship election in the state remains a matter of concern to them as they call on INEC to sustain their credibility in the coming poll.
The man in what for us to be in your state, because he has in debate, man who is going to do our state well.
People really vote for Buhari, so people really vote for Buhari, but we have five big men that want to contest for coming election. A person of Accord, Ladoja, but in Oyo State, I think we prefer Ladoja. It's because of Buhari that is give them the opportunity to win the all senatorial district and federal honorable.
As Nigeria decides in 2015, the race to the top remains a matter of concern to politicians, as the electorate are left to serve as umpires to choose a candidate that truly deserves their mandate. Omotayalo, CoreTV News, Ibadan.
Some residents of Abeokuta, the state have described the result of the presidential election so far as credible enough, and have also commended the electoral umpire of conducting a free and fair election. All right, some of them have also described former Minister Godze Rubeve's action at the National Coalition Center in Abuja in the early hours of today as unfortunate and degrading.
Barely 24 hours after the announcement of the presidential and National Assembly election results, the Ogun State chapter of the All Progressives Congress has outrightly rejected the outcome of the election in 2 federal constituencies and a senatorial district. The 2 federal constituencies
The Ogun State APC has outrightly rejected the outcome of the National Assembly result in 2 federal constituencies and a senatorial district. Olajumoke Olatunji was at the press conference organized by the campaign group. Her report.
And National Assembly election results, the Ogun State chapter of the All Progressives Congress has outrightly rejected the outcome of the election in 2 federal constituencies and a senatorial district. The 2 federal constituencies are Remo North, Ikenne, Shagamu federal constituencies won by PDP, and Ogun Waterside, Ijebu East, Ijebu North federal constituencies. The party says that the election was marred by gross irregularities.
The APC hereby categorically states that last Saturday election in the Ogun Senatorial District was marked by gross irregularities, inducements, and intimidation of voters, manipulation, and falsification of the results. The results were announced by the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, do not reflect the wishes of our people in Ogun Senatorial District.
The Deputy DG of the APC campaign organization, BC Adegoye, says that the party is determined to challenge the result of the Ogun East Senatorial District won by Buruji Kashamo and is ready to produce evidence.
Reflect predetermined, manipulated, and fictitious figures forged by rigging machinery of the PDP, People's Democratic Party that is, led by senatorial candidate Mr. Buruji Kashamo. The APC is determined to challenge results of the Ogun senatorial elections and the 2 House of Representatives seats within the confines of the law. We are having controvertible evidence of the manipulation that took place and the roles played by certain individuals.
With this early rejection by the party in less than 24 hours, it is only clear that more of this is yet to come. Olajumoke Olatunji, CoreTV News, Abeokuta.
As Nigerians await to hear the final declaration for the 2015 presidential elections, the Imo State Police Command in a press release said it's aware of the fact that some political parties intend to disrupt the peace of the state if the result does not favor them. The press release signed by the forces PPRO stated that they are very much ready for whoever will anticipate or participate in such unlawful act. Meanwhile, soldiers have taken over most areas that might likely be a starting point of such violence. However, in Imo State, it appears that APC members are not happy with the election result, claiming many of them were disenfranchised from voting. Imo State INEC REC, on the other hand, said the election has so far been credible enough, and as such, nothing should disturb the coalition process. After waiting for several hours from Saturday night when the results began to trickle in, journalists finally got to hear from the electoral umpire with regards of the senatorial zones in Plateau State. Making the announcement, Plateau State INEC Public Relations Officer Osarenti Imayerobo says the elections went peacefully in all the senatorial zones of the state. Although wide margins were not achieved as earlier predicted, the ruling party in the state still managed to retain the 3 senatorial seats. Former FCT Minister Jeremiah Uzeni won the Plateau South Senatorial District, while the state and present Senator Joshua Darie won the Plateau South Senatorial District. The governor of the state, Jonah Jang, clinched the Plateau North Senatorial seat. However, the result of the elections was received with protest from youths in the zone, saying that the elections were rigged. The Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, in Edo State has officially announced the results of the presidential election which took place over the weekend. Faraday Oruwense, The Vice-Chancellor of the University of Benin, who is the state returning officer, announced the results at the Commission office in Benin. All right, we'll go for a break. When we come back, we'll bring you news outside Nigeria. Stay with us.
Morning, Mr. President. Morning, sir. How are you, Mr. President? How are you, sir? How is the campaign?
We must learn to live together as brothers, or perish together as fools. Martin Luther King, Jr.
Welcome back. Still watching CoreTV News now. News outside Nigeria. The foreign minister of Iran and 6 world powers met on Monday in a final push for a parliamentary nuclear accord less than 2 days before the deadline, as Tehran showed signs of backing away from previous compromise offers. For days in Iran, the United States, Britain, France, Germany, Russia and China have been holding negotiations to break in impasse in negotiations aimed at stopping Tehran having the capacity to develop a nuclear bomb in exchange for an easing of international sanctions that are crippling its economy. In addition to U.S. Secretary of State John Kerry, Iranian Foreign Minister Mohammad Javad Zarif, and STEMA British Foreign Secretary Philip Hammond, French Foreign Minister Laurent Fabius, and Russia's Sergei Lavrov and China's Wang Yi gathered to end the deadlock in talks. Officials close to the talks say even if Iran and the 6 world powers reach a framework arrangement by their end March deadline, it would be very preliminary and could still fall apart. And that's CoreTV News at 7. You join us later at 9:45 as we bring you primetime news. In the meantime, we'll be bringing you updates with elections results. Thank you very much for watching. I'm Emmanuel Ezekiel.